Hey, what's up? What's happening? You already know who it is. It's your boy Q Walker with He Said, She Said, aka Nephew Q. And I got my right hand woman right here. Y'all already know who she is and what she is. Go introduce yourself, my lady.
What's up, y'all?
No, I need something better. I need something better than that. Come on.
Hey, what's going on,
There
y'all?
you
It's your
go.
girl, Chrissy J, popping on the ones and twos. This is what we do.
There you go. There you go. And then you already know who it is. We got the esteemed colleague over here, my constituent. Go on, Jarvis, aka JT. Go introduce yourself, man.
What's happening, man? Y'all know who it is, man.
No, damn
what
that.
is that?
No, bro.
That's the same. I came with the same.
No,
But
bro.
if I pick up my energy, then what you gonna do?
What's happening, y'all?
There he
JT,
is.
Jarvis,
Okay.
whatever you want to call it, man. What it do? What it do? Let's get to it.
Team Korean in the house.
That's a whole lot better. Man, we got a jam-packed show today, as you can tell. We trying to get full of energy on this icy Thursday. So everybody out there, make sure y'all be safe traveling the roads. But anyways, we got a special guest in the building, Terry Dumphord, who will be joining us, who's a community activist down at Paris, Kentucky. But before we get into that, February is Black History Month, so we're going to hit you with a little Black history before we start the show. Jarvis going to hit them off one time.
All right, so the Black history person that we're going to talk about is Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. He was the first Black surgeon to perform a successful open heart surgery, and that was in 1893.
And there it is. That's your Black History fact, one time for the one time. So like I said, we have a special guest in the building, Mr. Terry Dumphord, who we about to bring to the stage. And just let me give you a little bit about Mr. Dumphord before he comes on. He's a community activist and a self-published author from Paris, Kentucky. After he was released from incarceration in 2016, he founded the Voyage Movement. In 2020, he published his first book, The Sagas of Pharaoh, King's Chamber, along with co-author Cordero Coleman. Most recently, Terry was appointed president of his local chapter of the NCAAP. NAACP. Yeah, NAACP one time. So let's go and bring Mr. Terry Dumphord on there real quick. What's going on, Mr. Terry?
Peace to the family, man. How y'all doing?
What's happening?
Oh, man, peace and love. You know what I'm saying? Apologize for messing up the NAACP joint. You know, Jarvis messed that up on the paper.
Hey.
Season. So you do
Hey,
your
here's the thing,
basketball.
bro. He got a copy of it.
Right.
Man, my copy, man, it's messed up right now. But man, before we get into the show, let everybody know a little bit about Terry and who he is.
All right, first, man, let me congratulate y'all on the TV show, man. That's a big honor, man. So salute to y'all for that.
Thank you.
Also, thank y'all for having me. Like y'all said, my name is Terry Dumphord, man. Y'all kind of went through some of the titles that I have. I'm just a young man out here from Paris, Kentucky, man. Young Black brother, just trying to make a change. You know, I haven't always been on the right side of right, so to speak. So, you know, I just decided to dedicate my whole life to change, man. And I'm kind of liking the results. You know what I mean?
Yes. So, Terry, let's talk a little bit, man. What is the Voyage Movement? What is that about?
All right. The Voyage Movement is a nonprofit organization that I created. It stands for Voices of Youth Administering Global Education. So, like as you stated in the intro, man, I was incarcerated. I just got out of federal prison in 2016. So the last time that I was incarcerated, man, I just really was doing self-analysis, and I realized, you know, I needed to make some changes, man. And I also wanted to give back to the community that I destroyed. So, you know, I created the Voyage Movement as a vehicle to use to be able to go back into the community on a nonprofit endeavor, and to kind of use that to just change, you know, the kids in the neighborhoods' perception of the streets, change the perception of who I was and who they knew me to be before I left. Shout out to all the members of Voyage Movement. Shout out to all the people on the board, all my family, Richard Dumphord, Nadia Hutzel, Christina Dumphord, Vivian Gaines, Corey, like just the whole fam, man. Just shout out to all the people who supported us from day one. So Voyage Movement, man, we started off as a youth camp. You know, it's free for the youth. And then we ended off the summer with a family day event where we called all the families out of the kids, and we had free food, bouncy houses, games. We had individuals give away, you know, electronic devices. So it just turned out to be a big event, man. Mayors, city commissioners, superintendents, everybody started to come out and support it. And it ended up being, and it still is, a major move down there in the city, man.
Okay. Awesome. So
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, how can people who are tuned in right now, how can they contribute and be a part of the movement as well?
One of the major things that I realized, man, in our little going on 5 years of putting in work, man, is time, man. Like, find out ways you can get involved. I mean, of course, money's always a bonus, but the youth out here, man, they need real role models. I know, Jarvis, I think you a school teacher, right?
Yep.
So you understand the importance of that time and the lack of it. You see it in the youth that you come across when they don't have that guidance. So for me, man, just getting involved, man, and whatever that means for you. We have people bake cakes and cookies. That's their involvement. We got people who on the front lines. That's their involvement. We got people who pray. That's their involvement. So whatever God puts on your heart to do, man, that's what I would call and ask someone to do to support our movement.
So, question. I know you do a lot of stuff in Paris, Kentucky, as far as voice movement. Has that crossed over into anything that you're doing in Lexington or Georgetown or any like surrounding areas, or is it just mainly in Paris, or is that something that you're trying to cross over to?
Yeah, we started off. We was uniting with a lot of the organizations up here in Lexington. We do have a big impact in Georgetown. We have organization in Cincinnati, St. Louis, and Oakland, California. So branching New York and in Atlanta and in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we actually making moves. Like the movement part of that is actually moving. We added a prison ministry, quite naturally. Me being in prison, we had a prison ministry a few years ago, which we've given over $5,000 to inmates. The prison ministry is called the Voice Movement, Bridging the Gap. And the reason why we wanted to do that is when I was locked up, I was seeing a gap between fathers who wanted to actually be in their kids' life, but they couldn't. Baby moms and whoever had custody wouldn't allow them to. So what we do on our end is we try to bridge that gap and allow, these individuals who want to be a part of their kids' life to be a part. And then just to add, just to write letters, send cards, whatever it is that we could do to make that time a little easy. So we definitely, making some impact.
Good. So does this stream over, as most people already know, anybody watching the show, like my son is currently incarcerated and he's been there for a couple of years now. So I see the biggest problem is when these children or even men are getting out, that they're lost. Mm-hmm. Does the Boyish movement help them to, I guess, get back into society and try to show them, okay, this is the way that you can do this. I know it's hard as far as jobs, but this is what we can help you do to be.
Yeah, we encourage anybody who's on the way out or currently out. I help with job placement, mentorship, and just overall just understanding what it's going to take to survive out here in these days and times. A lot of it is just mentality shift. We come up in a culture. I came up in the 90s, man, and it was a dope boy mentality, thug life. It was a different culture that was imprinted on the males and the females, where you got to fight through that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not beneficial to you out here to actually adopt that mentality and think that you're going to have longevity, because it's already trapped, set up for that mentality. Like, they already know, what's going to happen when they see the mentality that you operate from, because they know, they put the play in motion. So they can kind of tell what type of individual you are just by your conversation. You know what I mean? Like, when they say it's programming, that's real. And they know what program individuals are operating from just by sometimes just 2 or 3 minute conversation.
Yeah, and everybody who's tuning in right now, we do appreciate you guys tuning in. Also, feel free to ask questions. Your questions will pop up on the screen throughout the duration of the show. So please, if you have any questions for us or even Mr. Terry Dumphord, our guest today, please ask them and they'll pop up on the screen. Oh, you guys got it? Go ahead.
Yeah. Terry, so, man, I know you said, your movement is impacting the youth, and then, of course, anybody else who's been like incarcerated, coming out incarcerated. So I know you told a little bit of background of your story, and, in the 90s, kind of the dope boy life was like glorified. What do you see as one of the main issues today with our youth that pretty much pushes them into that, type of negative lifestyle that could end up landing them in prison?
it's the culture, man. Like, you know, we create and dictate culture. If you see how culture shift, you know, we dictate fashion. You know, we create these things in the whole world. They come and they're attracted to whatever it is that they're doing, right? So right now, you think about the culture. The culture right now is gang. You know, everybody culture. So you see in like Lexington right now, you know, it can't sustain that gang mentality. It's not per capita. You can't be and have a gang mentality and go to the store because it's too small. So you got these young brothers that's adopting a gang mentality, and some of them it's their fault because a lot of them got good homes. I know some of the victims of the gang violence that like the recent gang violence and some that's been happening over the years, man. And it's just about decisions. They making poor decisions, and it's the culture though. You know, it's the music. You know, I don't even listen to rap that much no more, man. And it's sad because that's what we created that. But when you really break it down and you break down the essence of what it is, you know, most of it is what one would consider unrighteous. So all you're gonna get is an unrighteous individual who listens to it, who actually wants to emulate and imitate it. Then, you know, what else do you expect when your favorite rapper got ops and the ops look like me and you?
Man.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect when they really out here? Like when we had gangster rap in our day, the brothers who was doing it, they might have been OG. They might have already kind of lived it.
Yeah.
Dope boys did it like Master P and them. They was like, yeah, we sold the dope, but we done. We transitioned. These brothers is trying to make a name while they in the game. So I've never seen nothing like it in my life, man. Like they on Snapchat with the bag, they telling on it. Like it's a different type of culture, but it goes to the individuals who could have probably gave them some what we would call game being locked up, fathers being locked up, and then other individuals in the community not stepping up. Because most of us are either scared or we comfortable. You know what I mean? And imagine being scared of your own kids. And that's what we've allowed to be created on our own. We've created a culture. We scared of our own kids were when we was growing up, and not to, you know, expose none of our ages, but we might get whooped by our neighbors. You know what I mean? Or we get sent home or checked. And the checking was respected by our parents. And it wasn't something where a parent would come outside and be like, don't say nothing to my kids. So we've lost some of our old African proverbs, you know, the takes a village to raise a child type of culture. We've allowed those things to go by the wayside, and this is the end result. Mayhem.
Yeah.
Man,
Go ham.
Go ham.
Go ham. That's where it came from. Mayhem.
Go ham. Go
Where's
ham.
the ride from?
Oh man, Terry Dumphord, we're gonna put a pause in the conversation. We're ready to take a quick commercial break. We got something exciting and new. Go and hit them off real quick, Miss Chrissy.
Oh, y'all ready? I got my glasses on.
Yeah, got your glasses on.
Hey, listen, for y'all ladies.
No.
Last
week you got on me for the energy.
Oh, hold on.
No,
You sexy.
You told Jarvis to say it sexy, so you gotta say it sexy on yourself.
Boy, y'all be having a good time, boy.
Hey, y'all ladies. High quality fashion lingerie designed for the real woman who knows that her smile isn't just only a sexy curve. Shop beadored.com, where you will find lingerie sizes small through 4XL. Shop with He Said, She Said, exclusive code BMINE25. It's BEMINE25, and receive 25% off your total price. Now accepting Afterpay, Sezzle, PayPal. So fellas, for real, ain't no excuse why you ain't got your lady something that she'll adore.
Go get that lingerie.
Get them together. Y'all ain't got too much time. It's Sunday, but everybody know they celebrate this week.
Get that lingerie.
Get them something. They do the busted challenge and enjoy it, right?
Oh,
Yeah, the busted challenge in the lingerie.
You gonna let your lady do the busted challenge?
No.
Oh, okay.
And we are back with special guest, Mr. Terry Dumphord. I got a question for you right here. This is from Hawaiian Sophie. He said, tell us about the storefront you opened up in Paris.
Oh, what's up, my brother, man? Yeah, back in August, man, I was blessed and fortunate to be able to purchase my neighborhood store. You know, we all got them corner stores in our neighborhood. Mine was Oliver's Grocery. We called it Eddie B's. So I grew up every day I was in there. You know what I mean? Every day. So we was fortunate enough to purchase that building, and then we ended up renovating it. And the grand opening be March 4th, but we put a mural on the side of that. Shout out to Danny G. We put a lot of culture inside with, you know, Black activists, and I mean, it's gonna be dope, man. So I originally wanted it to be a store, but what we did was we had to pivot our business model a little bit. One of our youth in our neighborhood, Jacoby Wells, man, rest in peace, he had passed away at the end of last year, and it really touched everybody, man, real deeply, man. It was a beautiful young brother. So we wanted to carve out some space in there to continue to service the youth. So we kind of making it a youth center / storefront for the community. We will have grocery items in there, but we want that to be a space where the youth feel comfortable coming in and staying in for X amount of time. We got a few video games in there. We got the Apple TV with games. I got some DVDs that we're gonna be showing. Y'all ever heard of Hidden Colors?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That 5-set DVD, so we're gonna be doing an educational thing on that. So it's just gonna be a beautiful thing. It's a small space, but we got big ideas coming out of there, man. Great question though, man.
So when you say we, is it like a family-owned thing? Is it your business, your company you own, or?
Well, you know, the Voyage movement is, we basically took over that space. We're gonna occupy that space, but it's gonna be a multi-purpose space. Like, you know, I'm the president of the NAACP, so my office is in there. You know, like I said, we got the youth that'll be inside. But yeah, it was purchased through Dumphord Family Enterprise, which is a family company that I started last year. And I encourage everybody, man, even if you don't have a set business model in mind, go get you an LLC with your family name on it. And whoever in your family is the family CEO, start bouncing back ideas, because it's only $40 in Kentucky. Go get your LLC, man, and just watch, by you just taking those steps, watch the type of ideas that start to blossom, man. It's just a little bit of free game right there.
Hey, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Now, you talked about the store. Do you plan to keep it in Paris, or is your plan to expand to other cities like Lexington, Georgetown, Winchester, things of that nature?
Yeah, so last year we had launched the Voyage Movement 2020 Vision for Black America, man. And it was important because of everything we seen last year with Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, just the list goes on and on. This is just in 1 year, and we can go back and, you know, the list is infinite of just the injustices that continue to happen to us, where we feel like there's really no representation. We continue to cry out, but there's really no true justice. So, you know, the Most High put it on my heart last year to start an initiative where what we're going to do is stop asking and begging for reparations and things like that. We're going to go in, and the initial idea was for the 50 million blacks in America to put $1 a week into a national fund, giving us $50 million a week, over $200 million a month, and that'd be $2.4 billion a year, just by putting $1 a week in, that we can pour right back into our communities, buy back our blocks, have grocery stores, community gardens, hospitals, all the things that we used to have that we lost doing integration, man. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. It's a big goal, and that's why we started doing all of the things that's in that initiative with our own money right now. So that store is kind of like the flagship, saying, look, we out here, we doing it with our own money. So imagine what we could do if we did it together.
Yeah. Hey, Terry, man, this is one thing that I've thought about, man, and you probably thought about it too. But you know, one of the things I see is, yes, you know, we definitely need to reach our youth, but I'm like real big on kind of like, you know, just everything all the way around, right? So I feel like where a lot of people miss out at is, you know, we talk about the youth nowadays, right? but there's a reason they're like that. And like you were saying, like their parents. So for me, I'm real big on, and I've thought about this plenty of times, of like creating some kind of program for parents to really like educate and teach parents. And the reality of it is, you know, once people get to a certain age, they kind of get set in their ways, or they maybe, you know, don't have the humility to do that, or whatever it may be. But I think having programs that make parents feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable, to allow themselves to open up and learn, you know, and I'm not saying anyone's a bad parent, but, you know, to be able to teach your child, because the child in the household is first going to try to attach and see what you're doing as a parent, right? And then I mean, you know, if you're not really paying them no attention, and then that's where the music, the TV, they friends, everything come into play. So have you guys ever thought of any type of program to maybe educate and bring in parents, to like train parents up and give them, you know, some tools to be able to take home to their house?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's definitely part of some of our agendas. We have people working on programs. You got to kind of think back to the traumas that happened to us as a people. You know, one, you can't even do nothing for your people without people trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
You know? They're like, well, what about us? Well, look, my house is burning down right now. Let me get the fire.
Right.
Put this fire out.
Right.
So I get that a lot, and it be irking me, because it's like, listen, I'm not saying I ain't for y'all. I'm just saying, look, let me deal with the cut and the wound that I got first, and then let me attend to you. But going back to the trauma, man, think about the 80s, right? The 80s was the birth of the crack babies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is real talk now. So now you got the crack babies that are you know, they're teen to mid 20s in the 90s.
Yeah.
But then the crack babies are having babies.
Yeah.
So then you got to look at that. Now, it's not full-fledged in maybe these areas, but in our major inner cities, this is kind of the progression. Okay, so now you got babies having babies, right? You know, I was born to a mother who was 15. I felt like, you know, she did a great job. But now we have this on a repetitive cycle where it's nothing. You know what I mean? So now you got to think about who is the parent, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you got the kids that's doing more in the house than the parents, or the kids that's running the house. So it's going to be hard to tell the parents, get a backbone. It's going to be hard to tell a parent how to parent, but we got to do it. But that's where that village takes a child. So when you see a child that may not have that stability at home, we have to step in and be adoptive parents. But dealing with those parents specifically, yes, we have to teach them how to tap into their purpose, because a lot of us, that's the only problem. You know what I mean? It's like The Walking Dead. You know, you got individuals out here moving, but they not living. You know, they just alive. So we got to tap them back into their purpose and make them understand that they come from greatness and that you are great. Be great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we think remember we was talking that just maybe about a year ago, we were just talking about, you know, a lot of times you'll hear guys, and we were talking about getting more men involved in mentorship. A lot of people will be like, man, that ain't my child, ain't got nothing to do with me. But it could indirectly have something to do with you, because that child that doesn't have a father at home or a mother at home, you know, that feels like they got to go in the streets, could do something that's going to directly affect your household. And you don't know that. So we got to get away from that mentality that it's not my child, it's not my business, and make it our business, because one day it may become our business in a way that we don't want it to. So I think that, you know, we, as a community in itself, like you said, with Black parents, I seen a meme that said, only in a Black family will you come out, will you be born already an aunt or uncle. You know, because we having kids so young. I was 15
real
when
life.
I had my first, 21 when I had my third. So it's like kids raising kids. I'm learning as I'm going away. You know what I mean? As I'm going up trying to raise my kids, I'm still trying to raise myself.
Exactly.
So we have to have that, you know, more of a, I guess, community involvement as far as mentorship.
To piggyback off of what she's saying, my question to you, Terry, is, and we talked about this a lot, and it's a problem in our community, which is, you know, support. Which, you know, how do you plan on going about getting the community support for this store / community center? Because as you know, sometimes it's hard for us to get behind each other and support what we say, oh, well, we ain't got nothing here for us. But then when you have somebody who is doing something, it's hard to get that support from the same communities that we're from. So how do you plan on going about getting more support?
I mean, we haven't really had a hard time getting support when it comes to the things that we've been doing in the community so far, but I understand exactly what you're saying. What we've done and what we'll continue to do is partner with the local churches. I know last winter we partnered with all the Black churches in our community. We did a winter weekly feeding where the churches prepared the meal and the community came in, they got a free meal. So as long as we continue to move in those type of in that spirit, man, I think that we won't have a problem getting people to support because they ain't gonna have no choice. We're gonna call you out. Like, let's go. Yeah. Come out the church, get out here in the street. Jesus wasn't in the church, man. He was out in the street with people, and they was mad at him. They was saying, like, what you doing over here with the drunks and the prostitutes? He's like, where's I'm supposed to be at?
Right. For sure. I think the biggest thing though, Terry, like you were saying, man, like, with that whole aspect, and I've kind of like been thinking in my mind, right? So like nobody wants to support you, right? Like if they don't feel like they getting something from you, right?
Getting something from it.
Like so everybody feels like they gotta have their hand in a pot or whatever. Even if, like people may not know, like, Terry may not be making no money right now. He's just investing all his time and all his money, but people see that you have something and they feel like they want a piece of something that you have, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that yes, I think when we create something, right, we should be able to provide a value to the people that we want to service, right? Yeah. But I think we need to look at it more as not as something like monetary and not something physical. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like not a physical attainment. Mm-hmm. Like it could be something like just as simple as, okay, like Terry taught me how to get my credit together. And that should be enough, right? Mm-hmm. Like they shouldn't have to feel like if Terry didn't give me $5 or if Terry didn't feed me, that I can't support him. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You get that, man. You get that. I get it a lot. I mean, it's like a false sense of entitlement that we got. You know what I mean? Like, I don't owe you nothing. I haven't asked you nothing. And everything we do over is for free. So for me, I ain't charge you for nothing. We ain't charging nobody for nothing, man. I seen a comment pop up. They said, talk about the Thanksgiving giveaway. Yeah. Yeah. I don't necessarily celebrate Thanksgiving just for the record. But before the store was open, right, we wanted to make sure our community understood what to expect from our from that place, from that space. So we partnered with the NAACP. We got donations from Dan Cummins, Walmart, a lot of the members of the NAACP, a lot of my own family members, and we gave away over 100 turkeys, man, that week. You know what I mean? Just to show the community that this is what we're about right here. And it's what we've been about. But now that we have a storefront, we're going to continue to service the community, man. And it was a great event. I mean, we had cars lined up, man. And, forgive me for digressing right here, but
are you good?
This corner is the same corner that, we sold drugs at. You know what I mean? It was just a drug-infested neighborhood. So we trying to redefine what once was into something better. But the cars was lined up like it used to be, man. I mean, you would think that we was...
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
You was at the car.
But it was a beautiful thing. And we had the youth out there giving away the turkeys, the youth in our organization, a lot of them, which are my family members. I got a big family. So we had them out there servicing the community. Every time a car would pull up, they'll go get a turkey out the fridge, give them some bread, give them an NAACP card, and next. So that's, we want to instill that into the youth off the rip, man. Look, your first duty is to your community, and you need to be a service. Be a servant. You know what I mean? No higher honor, they say in the kingdom of God, but to be a servant. Yeah. But everybody wants to be the king.
Everybody want to be the king.
Or the queen,
And everybody in Paris right now should be talking about, what you got going on, right? So if you try to inspire kids, everyone in Paris should be talking about, like, go look at that storefront, right? Like, this is what this used to be. This is who he used to be. Exactly. This is who he is now, and this is what he's done. You know what I'm saying? Because that has to stick. And it's good that you got the storefront because it's a visual for them, right? So it's not just something that they hear about and they thinking like, oh, okay, I heard about it, but I can't attain it because I can't see it, right? But they actually have a visual in your storefront, and I think that's very inspiring. You know what I'm saying? So,
but that comes along again with how we learn and how, as parents, things that we missed out on. Like I'll tell you guys, I learned more about Black history when I got in college at 37 than I have my whole entire life, you know, and things that I just didn't understand. You know, my grandmother raised me, so I wasn't taught about certain things. She just kind of like, you know, she worked for a white family, and it was just like, keep your head down, do what you're supposed to do, and keep it moving. So there's a lot of things. So how are we supposed to teach our children the things that we don't know unless somebody introduces it to us, and then we go out, and then it's important to us. But other than that,
that goes back to what Jarvis was saying earlier about the humility of being open enough to learn something, to be like, okay, I didn't know this, and I'm 40, 50 something years old, but I need to learn this so I can be a better parent to my child and teach my child this, you know, like you said, you know, Terry helped that parent about credit. So now they know about that. So now they can teach their 14, 15-year-old kid about credit. So when they become an adult, they already know what to look for. You know, they ain't got to put the TV in their name and all that type of stuff and go and rent a center.
But who's 50 though? Who's 50?
I mean, man, it's hard to look yourself in the mirror. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself about all your failures.
Right? Yeah, so nobody wants to hear it. Nobody
wants to deal with that.
So we have to be open enough to do that. My children are adults. They are 26, 23, and 20. They, especially my middle daughter, will come back to me and let me know, hey, mom, when such and such, I got to be able to eat that. It don't feel good, but I have to be able to acknowledge, you know, and then try to do better. Like, period, because it's never too late to change and be a better person and still learn and still educate other people.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Just to speak to that, man, Gary Morgan, right? He invented the stoplight, the gas mask. He got a sewing machine and probably 10 other patents, right? But the stoplight, right? You can't go nowhere in the world without being influenced by this creation. Do you think they taught that in our schools on the hot, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's from Paris, though. He's from Paris, Kentucky. So listen to me. This year, we got them to write out a proclamation in March 4th. In a couple weeks, they're going to declare March 4th Gary Morgan Day. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's dope.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And the school boards are going to work around that day, make sure they educate the kids, make sure, you know, the elementary kids is coloring stoplights, blase skip. But it's like, come on, man, it's 2021, man.
Yeah.
But like y'all just said, it's on nuts. Like, told me about Gary Morgan. We got to stop leaning on these school systems to teach our kids what they need to know. We got to teach them. But if we don't know, then how can we teach them?
And it's got to be on us, because I know you guys just saw, what is it, in Utah? They just gave them the parents have the right to opt their kids out of Black History Month of the curriculum. What?
Yeah.
That's cool out. I'm down with that. But then let us opt out of white history. That's not our history. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be that way.
Nah.
But seriously, Black History Month, they have the right to opt their children out of learning that. So we have to pick up the baton.
But they can't opt out. They got to go to the stoplight, don't they?
Yeah.
So they got
history's everywhere for them.
Like, you can't get around Black history whether you want to celebrate, acknowledge it or not. We created almost everything out here, and a lot of stuff that we don't get credit for because they
That's the point.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, oh man, don't get me started on that.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, preach.
Man, you talk about agriculture. We basically like everything, bro.
We built America on our backs.
That's
good.
Go ahead.
Listen, man, I can go on and on and on, man. But
like
you know the school I work at, the elementary school I work at here in Lexington is Garrett Morgan Elementary. So,
that's dope.
So at our elementary school, we got, you know what I'm saying, they got pictures of them. People have, you know, maybe the art teacher, someone had drawn pictures of them. We have stoplights and stuff like that. But so the kids learn about Garrett Morgan pretty frequently there. My thing is, man, I wish that in the school systems, man, we just didn't learn about Martin and Rosa and Harriet Tubman, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so much more to our history and to our culture than just that. But I think for a lot of white America, that's what looks good, right? You know, that's the passive.
It's safe.
Yeah, that's the safe. That's the safe haven, man.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, okay, what we gonna do about that? You know, we can have our own. Like, you got to take back that power, because I mean, you just sending them to school. I mean, but school could be at home too. Like, we got to take back and redefine what school is. You know what I mean? We got to just redefine these things, man, because the curriculum they got is dated. You know, it's mother and grandmother and them probably, and grandfather and them probably was using this curriculum. You know what I mean? Not necessarily Dr. King. They probably had Frederick Douglass in there more so for them, but or nothing at all. But you see how much we lost doing integration, though, man. Man, we lost all our businesses. We lost our culture. I was just on a call yesterday with, it was like the community conversation about Black history in Paris, right? And they spoke. And when they was talking about all the businesses we had over in the neighborhood, and then how the culture was and how you couldn't do nothing because such and such knew you. The teachers knew you and would be at your house eating dinner with your parents. That's how close-knit you was. So imagine, you know what I mean, your teacher being your mom's best friend. You ain't finna be in that classroom acting a fool. You see what I'm saying? But we lost that because we wanted something that they didn't even want us to have. You know what I mean? So now, and you look at it now, a lot of Blacks are waking up and saying, all right, man, we got to have Black-owned businesses again. We got to have our own. And it's like, it was just 60 years ago, man. So now we're reversing that history and coming out of that thought. Not saying the integration is bad, not saying we want to separate, but we still have to have your own. Why? Beat down the doors, and I ain't knocking nothing our ancestors did. They felt like what they was doing was right. But why go through all that, get bit by dogs and all that to sit at their table, but then you're not going to go support the table that you already had no more, and now them doors closed?
Come on.
Just to go into a door that they don't even want you at, and they probably spitting your food all the way up until today. Man. So it's like the mentality, man. I understand what they felt like was needed, but we still should have kept some of our own, man. We lost so much during that time, and now you see us regaining it. You know what I mean?
Man, I also think too, though, man, because a lot of times, man, what we'll do is you know what I'm saying, especially when it comes to like a Black business, like we'll criticize that Black business. And I mean, and I'll be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? There's times where I'm critical, where I'm like, hey, man, y'all say y'all supposed to open at 11.
Man,
why y'all ain't open at 11? But I think the part where, you know what I'm saying, where I ended up thinking about myself, and I'm like, okay, instead of me talking about it or going telling somebody else or saying something on social media, we need to hold them accountable and tell them like, hey, yo, like, bro, I love you, bro. I want to support you, but you got to do right.
Man,
but if you say you open at 11, you run a restaurant, I can't come in here at 11 and you tell me the food ain't going to be done till 12. You can't do it. Like,
if we say show will start at 6, then damn it, we got to start the show at 6.
Come on, man.
Like,
But look, hey, we make it hard to support each other, man. We do, man. We make it real hard, man. But you know what? To conquer that is love, man. Just that love for your brother. Like, you know what? I ain't coming back for a couple weeks, but I'm coming back.
Because we hold Black people to a higher standard.
Absolutely.
Than we do everyone else. McDonald's will mess your food up 1,000 times, but you
right
still going, and you know they gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
There's third window for mess ups. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna be right back there. Not me. I don't eat that stuff though.
But yeah, I can dig out. But yeah, that's what it is.
Man, hey Terry, you know, you talked a bit about the NAACP and being the president. How did you become the president of the NAACP chapter in Paris, Kentucky?
Yeah, imagine that. You know, I'm still trying to figure it out because it's not supposed to happen, man. Like, so many things have been happening in my life since, you know, my return to society, so to speak, that, you know, you can't even, you know, you got to just give all the glory to the Most High, because you got to think, you know, I got felonies, man. And, you know, probably if we look to the bylaws, they'll probably tell me tomorrow, like, you ain't, nah, we got to take that title from me because you're not, you know, we didn't know that. But I'm transparent with everything that I do. But what happened was the local community, they wanted to put together, they wanted to reopen the chapter, right? Because it had been closed for some time. So, you know, me, I spearheaded it. We needed 50 members. So I went out, me, Nadia Hustle, Doris Alfred, Richard Dumphord, just a lot of people. We went out and we got the 50 members that we needed to be a chapter. So when it was time to elect the officials, You know what I mean? Like, cause a lot of the elders, and I feel them. They was like, y'all youngsters take the lead. Like y'all take up the mantle. Y'all hold the torch. We're gonna help you open it. We here for any suggestions and all that, but y'all take the lead. And I guess it just kind of fell in my lap, man. I didn't really want it. I got a lot going on. I got a lot of hats that I wear, but I'm honored, man, to be able to say that. I might not be able to say it tomorrow, but like it's an honor to be able to say that because, man, you don't know how many people it inspires, man. When I send them news articles back to the yard, man, them brothers know that they can come out and make it, man, and they can do it big and on a high level because they see me do it. So I do it for them, man. You know what I mean? But
people are motivated by titles.
Yeah, they are.
You're very motivated by titles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
so.
the question, all praises due to God, man. I ain't doing nothing. I'm just being obedient. And whatever he blesses me with, man, I'm thankful for it because, I could be dead.
We're going to take a quick pause in the action. Fellas, Valentine's Day is coming up, ladies. Valentine's Day is coming up. So if you want your ladies to wear something nice, we got something for you, ladies. If you want to wear something nice, we got something for you. Chrissy J, tell them what we got for them real quick.
What we got for you is to be adored.
There you go.
High quality,
fashion
lingerie, designed by for the real woman that knows that her smile isn't her only sexy curve.
Hey.
Shop at www.tobeadored.com, where you will find lingerie sizes small to extra large. Shop where he said, she said, that's us.
Yeah.
Exclusive code BMIND25 and receive what? 25% off your total price. So it ain't just one item.
It's the total
price.
Yeah. So
now accepting PayPal, Sezzle, and Afterpay. So fellas, ain't no excuse why you ain't got your lady something that she'll adore.
And we are back here on He Said, She Said with special guest, NAACP President Terry Dumphord. Terry,
Peace.
Man, what would you say are the keys to success?
For me, man, God first for sure. Understanding your purpose, especially for the youth. You can understand your purpose at a young age, man. You're going to climb mountains out here, with ease. Being patient and, have perseverance. And then also understand what your God-given talents are and move in those. Like those have been my keys to success, just being able to understand what my purpose is and staying in my lane. And, just putting God first in everything that I did, because without that, man, I don't know where I would be. I know the opposite mentality. So you wouldn't be talking to me now. Yeah. So for anybody, man, who doesn't, I don't want to go on no preaching hype or none of that. But if y'all have never prayed or I don't understand God, or y'all ain't got a good example of somebody who's a God-fearing man or woman or the pastors or whatever, just look within yourself, man, and then just pray. If you don't know what your God-given talents are, pray, ask him to expose them to you. One of mine is writing. When I was young, I hated to write. So some of your gifts are something that you shunning right now. I just want to give y'all that tad bit. Look at your own personal self, your being, and what are some of the things that you shun? It's probably a gift up under that dirt. You know what I mean? So those things right there, because that gift is going to get you paid. That gift is going to, it's going to lead you in the right direction. Everybody got one too. Not one person on the planet was born without one. And that's a fact.
And I like that. Something that you hate doing might actually be your gift.
But people, like you said, they shun what they do. And I've always been told throughout my whole life, you do too much. You do too much for people. You do too much. My gift is I'm a giver. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being that person to help push somebody to the next. Like, I don't have to be on top. You don't have to see my name on the screen. I feel good being able to help somebody else do something. I had to be able to accept that and be like, you know what? That is my gift to the world. Is that I'm a giver and I'm okay with being that. Like, I love that. Some people don't realize that that is a gift.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to embrace what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your gift?
Yeah, what's your gift?
Just
Eating.
food, travel. Nah, man. I mean, as far as my gifts, man, I feel like I can speak to anybody, right? Like, I feel like I can have a conversation with anybody. It's funny because me and Vincent was talking about it yesterday, just talking about people who are like kind of like socially awkward. And he was like, man, that's one thing you've never been. Like, you'll go up and talk to anybody, don't matter who they are, what they look like, whatever it is, and you comfortable doing it. And I mean, I do feel like that is a gift of mine. But I have other things, man, that I'm really like passionate about. And, for me, it's just been over the years for me, I realized that some of the things that I'm passionate about, I just haven't been as intentional as I should be about it, right? Like I kind of sidestep it. One, it's like that poem, Our Greatest Fear, right? Like that poem kind of sticks with me because it's like, when he says the part, like basically when we let our own light shine, like it liberates others, right? But for the longest time, I've been kind of like nervous about doing stuff, not more so because I'm afraid of the failure part of it. I'm like, kind of like, well, what if it blows up to this? And then what am I going to do?
Yep.
Be ready for it, right?
No doubt.
If I'm intentional about what I want to do, and that's where I've been kind of trying to change my mindset with a lot of things, just moving forward. So,
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I think one of your gifts are.
uh-oh.
I think no, for real. Then we don't say this enough. Like, Jarvis is an excellent father. Like, off top. Like we don't get that enough. I mean, yeah,
You too.
yeah, well, of course. No, he is. No, seriously, but Jarvis raises his son. You know what I mean? And it's like when I say Tyler is one of the smartest kids, and it's not just because I get it, he's smart, but you actually put the time and the effort, and you teach him about everything. You show him your mom's culture, your Black culture, like everything, and you introduce him to things that most people don't do as Black fathers. And I can appreciate that, and even though you travel and you got all these different hats, the number one thing for you is fatherhood to him. And like, to me, that's a gift because everybody cannot do that. Or if they can, they don't. So
Terry made me cry.
I know his eyes. I don't know if I can see his eyes is all glossy right now.
Salute to the Black fathers, man.
Yeah.
But like, I never tell Jarvis that, but I see it, whether I say it or not. Like, I see it and I brag on him. I'm like, dang, as a Black man, like, Jarvis is a really good dad. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, the men that he surrounds himself with that have children, they're all that way. I can't say none of his friends that are around him that are not that way with their children, and it matters. So that's a gift.
I appreciate
You might cry.
You all right?
Hey, but that's honestly like one of the things, like she said too.
Damn, man. They try to act like Black fathers don't exist. I mean, we got a super dad over here. What y'all talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't.
But it's like she said, like, like I pride myself on that too, right? Like fatherhood, but I also pride myself on like she said, the people I surround myself around. Like, I feel like, even times when I can't give to them, right? Like, I know the people I surround myself around can give back to me in a way. You know what I'm saying? And we all, we're a circle of people, and we pretty much can do the same for each other. Because I would like to say, at any time, like, let's say, as far as men, let's say, like, if I need a cue for something, whether it's some advice, whether it's something with doing like, podcasting, doing whatever, I know I could go to Q and he got me, right? And I know he feels the same about me too.
Yeah.
Like,
we've been in conversation.
Yeah. So it's like.
So y'all ain't talking about me and what I can do though?
No, I was just talking about me. We was talking about the men, but that is something that I feel like, me personally, and I've had that conversation with my homeboys. Like, yeah, like if you were someone who didn't take care of your kids, bro, I would be on your head. Yeah. Because I'm big on that. Like,
accountability.
Yeah, you gonna take care of your kid. I'm gonna be on your head about that. But I've never had to. The men, like she said, that I keep around me, they just some very stand-up guys, man. So
Not to get off track, but I just wanted to put that out there because I don't think our
I
black
appreciate
men,
you.
our black fathers get enough recognition these days. And even if it's just from your friends or your co-host or whatever, just to let you know, hey man, I see you. I appreciate you. Everybody doesn't need to be validated, but it doesn't mean it doesn't feel good when someone does it.
Right. Stereotype is that we definitely don't hear it from our black women. So that was a major move right there.
I was
Come on, y'all.
just about to say that is that you speaking on Jarvis, but as a black woman, you just did what black men wish a lot more black women would do is not necessarily give us praise, but say, hey, you're doing a good job. Even though this is what we're supposed to do, but it's okay to still acknowledge that you have a man, whether you're with him or not, that he's doing a good job in raising our child. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like sometimes men do need to hear that as well as women. Don't get me wrong. But every now and then, it's okay because it seems like, and please don't get me wrong when I say this, it seems like all the praise is geared towards black women, and it's like no acknowledgement for black men.
It is. You single, strong black woman.
And
you know,
and that's great. Like that's dope. But it's also okay to let black men know, hey, you're an excellent father. You're doing the right things. X, Y, Z. Keep raising your son or your daughter the right way. You're doing an excellent job. Like it makes us feel good and want to keep pushing to be an even better father on top of that.
Uncles, cousins, grandfathers, all that. Some people that don't have kids.
But you see how hard it is. Even I mean, we got someone like a LeBron James who has set like a ridiculous bar of a black man, right? And they'll tear this man down in the media. You know what I'm saying? They got a video of his son smoking weed, and they trying to tear this man down as a father. It's like, listen, I get it, but at a certain point, like his kid is gonna make some decisions, and he's gonna, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna fall on his butt on his own. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna have to learn. You know what I'm saying? Just like everyone else. But if they'll tear a man down like that,
imagine what they'll do.
They'll tear us down, sir.
They'll keep being great. Let them try. But that's dope, though. Yeah.
Okay. Man, so Terry, man, I'm sorry we got sidetracked about fatherhood and women and all of that, man. Apologize for that, bro.
No,
but tell me about what this we all in the same gang. Tell me about that.
Yeah, y'all apologize for not having the shirts on today, too. Shout out to my cousin April Kinney, man. She got the win Tucky Company, man. As soon as I got the late message that y'all wanted the shirts, she not keep that. I wouldn't go down to get them, but we all in the same gang. Y'all remember that song back in the day, you know, that the West Coast did called "We All in the Same Gang"? It was a lot of West Coast rappers, and they created the song to call a truce between the Bloods and the Crips, and then the East Coast did self-destruction. Y'all remember them songs?
Self-destruction. You headed for self-destruction.
Hey,
y'all with me? So last year when we launched the 2020 Vision for Black America, you know, we was, you know, talking about rebuilding our communities like we just talked about. So it dawned on me that it don't make no sense rebuilding these communities if you still got young cats running around that's gonna tear up the buildings that you rebuild. You know, like they're gonna be putting bullet holes in the buildings. So what I did was I wanted to create hashtag We All in the Same Gang for a call for unity in the community. So what we did, we flew out to LA. We talked to a lot of people down on Crenshaw. We went to Nipsey Hussle's memorial. We talked to a lot of those guys in that 60 neighborhood. We went to Vegas. We went to the Bay Area. We flew to Chicago, and we was all through Chicago, man. It was right at the time. I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a funeral in Chicago that made like world news because they shot it up last summer. So we was in that. I mean, we was in neighborhoods that them boys from Chicago wouldn't go to. They was like, "You was where last night? At night? You was over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, brother." But I wanted to gauge, you know, the temperature of some of the brothers that I know that's in the streets and know people that's in the streets to see how they felt about that. Because, you know, we pushing the line. You know, we pushing the line this year where it's like you either with us or against us. You know, you either family or you not. And if you with us, then, you know, we're not going for certain things. You know, and we got to put the guns down. Ain't no more ops that look like you. You know what I mean? We just set down, we getting ready to set down a new law and order, man, for our community So that's what that we all in the same gang is rooted in, where we erasing all that divides us and saying, if you're gonna be in a gang, then we all in the same one. Then, you understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
I mean, it's a hard line and it's a big goal, man. Like I said, we got big goals, but these things don't come from me, man. I just put them out there and let the Most High do what He does, man.
So Terry Lee, I got a question. Last question from us is that if you had one thing,
You went to Terry.
if you were to leave, what?
He said you went to Terry Lee.
Oh. God forbid that you have to leave this world tomorrow. What is something that you want to be able to put out there that you are remembered by? When people speak on you, what is it that you would like to hear them say about you and your legacy?
Oh, just about me personally.
Just you and
that a young man, he figured it out and he put forth his best effort to right his wrongs. You know what I mean? And that's just what I do every day. I'm just trying to. I feel like I got a debt to my community, my people, and I'm paying off my debt with whatever time I got left. So when they punch my clock, whatever they feel like I owe, I still owe. I might come back. I don't know how that works. But I just feel like, a lot of us should take on that type of mentality. Like, man, you owe. If you've been out in these streets terrorizing, selling drugs to your aunts, uncles, and your partner's mama and all of this, and you get back and you got some sense of consciousness now, because some of us still unconscious. We still don't know, that you're going in if you do this, or you're getting killed. So we still make these moves thinking there's a right way to do wrong, and it's not. But I just pray and hope that, they get it and they move in that vein. So, hopefully individuals can see me and be able to see just the small stuff that I've been able to accomplish with the blessings of the Most High, that they can do it too. They can make a change and actually be okay.
So before we end the show, why don't you go ahead and let all the viewers know where they can purchase your book, where they can be a part of Voyage Movement, where they can find you, and if they want to do anything that you're a part of, we all in the same game, let them know where they can find you at. All
right, y'all can find me on Facebook, Terry Dumphord, Instagram, Voice of the Youth. We got a website called the Voyage Movement Black Exchange. It's abbreviated as www.tvmbe.com. That stands for the Voyage Movement Black Exchange. You can buy the book there. We got a Black Flag fundraiser you can purchase. We all in the same gang apparel, and we also have other individuals who have put their merchandise on the site. So we wanted to create a site where individuals can put their merchandise on it too. That's why it's called the Black Exchange. And it's just for individuals who may not know how to create a website, might not have the funds. All you got to do is send us an email, upload your information, your product, and you in business. So that, you can get the book there. What's next for us is we're going to continue to push the Sagas of the Pharaoh book. Me and my man got a script, Matata Scar, is called Nzinga. It's about a queen warrior in Africa who fought off the Portuguese and the Dutch during the time of the slave trade. So me and that brother will be putting that out this year. And we got Voyage Movement music coming. We're going to wrote some songs for the youth to sing, positive, uplifting songs. So y'all just stay tapped in, man.
Hey, stay tapped and tuned in. We got a message from, I think this is your people. This is April Kenny. She said, great podcast, conversation, love her energy.
Hey, girl.
Did we just talk about the me and
I know. Can we get some? I'm just playing with you. Thank you for tuning in, April. Really do appreciate that. And also, man, Terry, we appreciate everything that you doing for the community. We appreciate you coming on this show. Jarvis, anything you want to say, man?
Yeah, Terry, man, please keep me updated, man. Whenever you open the storefront, man, I want to come spend my dollars there.
March 4th.
March 4th?
It's on a Thursday.
Okay. Please let me know, man. I'm going to come spend my dollars there.
And when he says dollars, he do mean dollars.
and that shirt you was going to give me, man. Man, just hit me up in my inbox. Let me know the price. I'm going to pay for mine.
You'll pay for mine?
You going to pay for mine?
No doubt. Hey, I appreciate that.
I'm going to pay for mine,
Hey, one thing about the store, how it's set up, you can't buy nothing in the store. Everything's off a donation basis. We don't sell nothing.
Okay, I'm going to donate then. I'm
donate.
There.
Get you some water, some snacks, whatever. Keep it moving. Yeah. We just want to keep it in that same vein. Hey, but listen, thank you guys. Hey, have me back on when y'all have the show, man, when it's on and popping. I need to come back, man.
Hey, you can definitely.
And we got one last important message for you, though.
You see it on the scene? It's from Gene Dumphord. Great job, Terry. Love you, Mom.
See that? Peace, Mama. Thank you.
But before we do get out of here, one last bit of information, which is pertaining to the show that Terry just brought up. For the people who might have been tuned in for the first time on our show, our show will be shown in Columbus, Nashville, Louisville, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Also on Fire Stick and Roku, and those shows will start streaming on February 26th at 9 a.m. So the show will be on TV on Fridays starting February 26th from 9 till 10 in the morning. And if you can't watch it on your TV, you can tune in from your Fire Stick or your Roku, and you can catch us on there as well. I just thought I want to throw that in there real quick. Look at Jarvis smiling. Look, he happy.
Listen, God know I needed this because I've been trying to work on my mouth and I'm trying to stop cussing. No, I can't cuss on TV, so he puts it in there for me.
He puts it in there.
Sure enough, Christina, we will come down. We'll get together with Terry Lee and come down and join the movement to talk to the youth.
Hey, you know what?
Congrats.
Be on there.
Huh?
Do a show down there.
Yeah, from there to do a show.
We'll talk to you, Terry, about possibly doing a show down there from the store and everything, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be major. I like the sounds of that.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll set that up. But anyway, everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Chrissy J, you got something you want to say for get out here?
This is Chrissy Jordan on the ones and twos. You know what I do. Hey, I see you, boo.
Oh my God.
Bars. Hey, White Soap, sign her, brother.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. Terry, all your peoples that ended up joining the group, tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Paris, we'll see you guys soon. To piggyback off of Charles, everybody tune in. You can also catch previous shows on our YouTube channel. Okay, why be on here? He said, she said, talk. You can also listen to us on all podcast streaming platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio. You can go back and check previous episodes, like why do black men date white women and all that type of stuff. Baby mama drama. We got it all.
Listen,
yeah.
Support us, even if you just support us because we black. Because I'm voting for everybody black. Support us because don't wait until we blow up. Be like, I know them. No, for real. Like, support us so that we can continue to shine light on issues and topics such as this and be able to bring everybody together because we all in the same game.
Man, I appreciate
I like how you ended
that.
I like how you ended that.
I like how you tie that in there.
Yeah, I like that too, man. Terry, appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you later on, man.
All right, salute.
Peace.
All right, peace.
You can say I love somebody like you love your mama.
Oh, you want me to say that real quick?
That's what y'all
Well, we get ready to get on up out of here. But before we do that, we want you to treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama. We out of here.